Right, let's meet Josh and Josh then. If you'd like to come off mute, chaps. They go under the pseudonym, if that's the right word, of Swerve and JD. And I guess the fact that they're both called the same name probably meant they had to come up with some sort of different name, otherwise it would be confusing. But gentlemen, it's lovely to have you with us. Thank you very much for coming to the call this morning. Tell us a bit about yourselves and where you've come from, what you're doing, and anything else you want to share with us. And I've got a few more questions for you as well, and I've got those films ready to go as and when we get there. But welcome. Who's going to go first?
Well, firstly, Tom, no, thank you for having us. It's really great to be a part of this. We've known about the Cumbria Arts and Culture Network for a while, but never had like an in. So to be able to come in and showcase what it is we do, thank you for that. I think we'll probably go back to.
Yeah, we'll go right back. So
way back.
I left school. I didn't really have a clue what I wanted to do. I ended up going to Barrow sixth form, and I think I lasted 6 months there, and I dropped out. I had a bit of a weird start to my life, not gonna lie. Then I went to Furness College, did a year there, dropped out. Then I ended up kind of just being a wanderer. I did not have a clue what I was going to do.
You were a gamer for a bit, weren't you?
Gamer for a bit. I always wanted to be creative, but never knew how to kind of turn that into something that I wanted to pursue or that would be respected. Because every time I mentioned I want to do something like that, it was kind of like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Go to work.
Yeah, you need to go to work. So I ended up going down a bit of a rocky road, and some things kind of happened in my life that were a bit awful, and the fact that I'm sat here today is a bit lucky, to be honest, because I did kind of go astray, and then I got into BAE systems through the Prince's Trust, and during that time there was more stuff just going on. Ended up going on the sick for like 2 years. So at this point a lot of years had gone by, and I was worried that I was going to be a failure. During along that time I kind of discovered music, and that was Witches and Witches Deck, brilliant. During that time, music kind of kept me grounded, and eventually it kind of pulled me out of this rut that I was in. I pursued it myself, and I started finding ways that I could like maybe potentially turn this into a profession. I started releasing on record labels, and it was all just self-taught.
Yeah, entirely unguided.
Yeah.
YouTube, 10 years of YouTube.
Yeah, so that kind of became a thing, and then I finally left BAE Systems, and I was just doing nothing. Then I was like, oh my, what am I going to do? Mm-hmm. And at this point, you had come back from uni.
Yeah, so
did you two know each other at this point already?
Yes.
Yeah, we've known each other since we were about 4 years old. We're 25 and 26 now, so 20 years of dynamic duo, dynamite it is. Yeah. So similarly, we both had differing but somewhat similar childhood traumas, which then led to problems in our adolescence. I lost my father at a very young age, and then almost lost my mum. So I was off the rails, as rails go, Tom and everyone in the chat. I ended up finding, I did public services. I said I wanted to be in the army, I wanted to be in the services. Took an injury, so never chased that up. Then I went into the outdoors, hence why I was working at Go Ape for a while. I went and did outdoor leadership at UCLan. Spent a lot of time in Wales.
You were on the tall ships.
Yeah, tall ships. Yeah, sorry. Skipped the whole part of my life. Yeah, I went and spent a bit of time. Project John. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that organisation here in Barrow. They put me onto the tall ships. I ended up being a bit of a success story with them because it did pull me out of certain ruts. It stopped me being in places I shouldn't have been because I was out at sea. And yeah, then went to college, public services, then went to university, then graduated from uni, and I thought, you know what, I don't want to be stood in the rain my whole life. And that's probably what we're going to do, being in the outdoors in Cumbria. Sun shines for about 5 days a year. Luckily, one of them's today. Then we both, we ended up writing poetry in my university accommodation. And I came home, I was like, yeah, have a read of these. What do you think of these? He said, you know what, they are really good.
Yeah, really good.
He was like, why don't you rap them for me? I was like, no chance. No. A rapper from Barrow, never been one, never will be. I was like, eventually he coaxed me around. I remember the first time we tried to record one of the videos, we were up at Hoops Car Park, for anyone who's familiar with the Barrow area. And what, 30, 40, maybe 50 attempts?
Yeah.
It was 16 sentences I had to do. I couldn't do it. We're up there for nearly an hour and a half, and then we got it.
Yeah, we got it.
And then from there, that was kind of the first point I went, oh, do you know what? Maybe there is a rapper from Barrow.
Yeah.
Maybe there is.
I think that was the point where we I was doing my separate music, because I was doing like completely different music then.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was the point we kind of just combined, because I just saw the potential of what he could do. And then I thought about what we could do together. Mm-hmm. And I had a vision. I was like, we can do this.
We could take over the world.
So we literally spent the next 2 years in my spare room at my house, just making music. And at the end of them 2 years, everything we made went in the bin.
In the bin. Forgotten about.
Because it was just, it was kind of like we needed them years to just kind of get to like know each other musically and do that.
Develop that skill set, discover our sound, figure out which angle do we want to go at it.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think we've got a good avenue. We've got a vision, we've got motivation, drive, and the ability to accomplish what it is we want to.
Yeah, I would mention that we both went through the hardships, but I feel like in a way it's like a double-edged sword. It was kind of a blessing in a way for us to have gone through that at such a young age. It made us grow up very quickly and kind of realize what we need to do.
I also think as well, because we did go through similar but different traumas, it kind of bolstered our friendship because we could confide in one another. Mm-hmm. Like we're a well-oiled machine, tight-knit. And like even when we come to dispute, it's very healthy discussions. It's not like, oh, I hate you, I'll speak to you in 3 weeks' time. Yeah. It's like, okay, we've said what we need to say, which is important in a work team, in any organisation, which kind of brings us on to Horizon Studios. Because none of us were kind of guided, there was, or not that we were aware of, any support for what we wanted to do in the area. We'd have to go as far as maybe Manchester, Preston if we were lucky. That's probably the closest. Mm-hmm. But YouTube developed all these skills along the way. We ran an events chain. We sold out 2 to 3 events. Before that, it ended up ceasing before COVID. Music releases, we've been awarded a nationally accredited award called Local Hero from the Association of Independent Music. So we've covered quite a lot of ground. And I think what's really cool as well is we started right as lockdown and COVID began. So we managed to do all this through a global pandemic. Yeah. Had we have had the opportunity to be out there in the world, it could have been different. We could have covered more ground. But this is also a discussion in itself. Would it have been different? Would we have maybe covered less? Because we had everyone in the mobile phones because they couldn't leave the houses. Yeah, that's a whole different thing.
I think we're up to the point of maybe a video.
Yeah, I think it'd be good.
Just so
and before I play the video, just remind us then who does what someone writes the words, someone writes the music, is that right?
Yeah, so I'm the rapper. Yeah. He's the producer and singer now. All right.
Don't ask me to sing on here though.
Yeah, so sorry, his name.
We ask every guest to sing us a song before they finish on a Friday morning.
If you're happy and clap your hands.
So would you like to introduce Great District then, and then I shall play it?
Yeah, so a bit of a long story short, The Great District is a song that depicts the heritage and the lay of the land in the Lake District, because we have a lot of love for this place. It's a place that made us who we are. One of the most beautiful places in the world. This song is Great District.
And one more thing, the funny thing about this is we did it over a drill beat. So drill a couple of years ago was all to do with gang violence.
And they were trying to ban it. I don't know if anyone remembers when they were trying to take drill down off the internet.
So that was kind of the angle we came out with. We were going to try and put a positive spin on that style of music.
Yeah, there we are.
All right, okay. Well, I'm just going to play it now. So, as ever with everybody, when you're playing a film over Zoom, you can sometimes get a little bit of jiggery joddery, but just go with it because it's a great song, it's a great film, and I hope you enjoy it. So, I shall share my screen and let's go and have a look at it.
Tracks from their new EP, which is called The Prem. This is it. It's called Great District. See what they did there. Have a listen. See what you think.
Look, the place I grew up in's amazing, and it's been my home since day. This is district of the greats, you'd only know if you've been to the lakes. Grateful for the fact that I'm inches away, means I can dip in for the day. Villages and estates, visible history, intimate waves. Man, I do bits like Beatrix Potter, wait till I hear this whopper. Now I ain't no shotter, JD crazy, real showstopper. You can't say we ain't doing it proper, play this tune in honour of the grounds we grew to prosper, mad what the views can offer. Uncover the beauty hidden in plain sight, not only seen in daylight. You know what I'm saying's right, pay homage to Alfred Wainwright. Pack a backpack for the train ride. Most I can do in a day's 9. With a 4-day rest, I'll try my best, but it's proved already it'll take time. 214, I've done about 20, yeah, so I still got plenty. On a whole too hefty, slow and steadily go with it gently. I won't forget this place, although it may forget me. Treat it the respect it deserves, cause I'm sick of letting it be. The place I grew up in's amazing, and it's been my home since day. This a district of the greats, you'd only know if you've been to the lakes. Grateful for the fact that I'm inches away, means I can dip in for the day. Villages and estates, visible history, intimate waves. I was built for this, JD, yeah, I grew up in the wilderness. I got skill with it, and I'm ill with it. JD, yeah, going for the kill with it. These days I've been getting too sick. Doc gave me a pill for it, and I don't know how to feel with it. Shielded, I got God's will with it, but it's all uphill, so I can't go fast. Tell me what you know about the hard knock pass. You go in a car on laps, you go far and that's facts. Gone in a flash, I done it like Max. I'm coming in first, not last. I heard you when you weren't all that. Please have a word and then report back. I'm taking my time, but they know don't rush him. Some say I'm John Broskin, cause that was the school that I ate my lunch in. Now I get paid for the function. I praise good things, put your trust in what my love's in. Diamond in the dirt, need dusting. Here when I say I'm gonna bust in. It don't take a professional to tell you take care of our national parks and the lives of the animals guard. Man, I play fair, but I have them in arms. Navigational charts, operational art, only see the occasional car. Get to the inaccessible and have your mind taken apart. The place I grew up in's amazing, and it's been my home since day. This a district of the greats, you'd only know if you've been to the lakes. Grateful for the fact that I'm inches away, means I could dip in for the day. Villages and estates, visible history, intimate waves. Round here, tough guy, don't sell. Tell me what you know about Low Brick Fell. I've been up bare times, can't tell. And a constant old man as well. From back when they had to dig wells. Lancelot has sold them if tells. I think we've upped it well. I've been spitting nothing but big shells. Better places to visit here. Catch me kicking in Windermere. Got the greatest of plans for Grange of sands that I won't let you interfere. Take my stand, won't sit in fear. Raise my glass to living here. Where else would I see a timid deer by the fishing pier? Set up camp by Rydal Water. Let the land be an idol for you. I make up sunsets in the west, so I think a fire's in order. Gotta keep pace for the final quarter. I ain't got time for a talker. Rich inside, I will never be a pauper. My whole life been a walker. The place I grew up in's amazing, and it's been my home since day. This a district of the greats, you'd only know if you've been to the lakes. Grateful for the fact that I'm inches away, means I can dip in for the day. Villages and estates, visible history, intimate waves. I won't forget this place, although it may forget me. Treat it the respect it deserves, cause I'm sick of letting it be. I won't forget this place, although it may forget me. Treat it the respect it deserves, cause I'm sick of letting it be.
Well, I'm coming off mute because I think that's fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The fourth time I've seen that, and I love the fact that you can get Alfred Wainwright into a rap. You can get some Hard Knock Pass into a rap. You've got some shots of some Crown Green bowling as well, and a 99 ice cream being eaten as well. You know, so it's a really beautifully shot film as well. Whoever you got to do that did a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations. What was the? Why did you do that song?
Firstly, sorry, just to jump in, the videographer is another person that we went to school with, someone that we've known for many years. We've got a very tight-knit team of people we've grown up with. His name's Vinny, goes by VDA Visuals. Phenomenal videographer and editor as well.
That song kind of came from. So we were already shooting a music. Was that when we wrote the beat or not?
Yeah, the beat was around for a while. We had this instrumental that I'd made for like almost 8 months.
Yeah.
And I kept trying to write something to it, but it just never was amazing. It wasn't what we wanted it to be. And we were shooting another music video up in the Lake District for one of our bigger singles, which was called Hugo. And driving back from Ambleside to Barrow, the 45-minute journey, in the back of the car, hella inspired from everything that we'd seen for the last 2 days filming up there. And I just said, put the beat on. And like drove back, and we brought the 3 verses and the chorus, the hook, all before we got back to Barrow. Like it was this energy is right now and it needs doing. It was crazy. I remember tingling writing it. It was phenomenal.
It's such a fantastically refreshing, different take on the Lake District. And people are saying in chat there, love it. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. That made me really emotional, says Lorna. Me too, says Jill. Amanda says fantastic. Just, and Charlotte saying it's wonderful, really great. That's such a lovely, refreshing, different take on this place in which some of us either live or work or visit from time to time. What's the reaction been to that film?
Firstly, just thank you everyone so much for your kind words. It's really great to hear that back, because we work in a small studio or a space and we create it and then it goes online. It's just digital. We never kind of hear so much back. So thank you all for that. But the feedback?
Well, it went down really well. We were awarded Track of the Week on BBC Cumbria by Tom Salmon. So that was great. It was played on BBC Cumbria every day for a week. Yeah, thank you, Tom. That was amazing.
And it's done quite a fair amount of views. But I feel like it went, I don't want to say underappreciated, but like underlooked for a little while. I feel like that maybe it was the wrong time for releasing or something, because the analytics didn't match necessarily some of the other stuff that we released. I think maybe because the video took quite a while. In terms of streams, it did quite a lot. I think we got about 15,000 streams on Spotify, which is up there with one of the most. But the video only had about 1.2 thousand for a long time.
It's like a Spielberg film.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
Listen, we'll play the other track shortly, but first of all, can I ask you to tell us a bit more about Horizon Studios, because that's something else that you've set up, and that is doing great business as well. And I know you're doing other work around the county, so just tell us a bit more about that.
So obviously, going back to how we had a bit of a rough start in life, I think that was the main inspiration for setting something like this up. So it's obviously we created this skill and we'd honed this skill, and we knew about this whole exciting world of music. And it's like a lot of young people around here, they don't know, they were in similar situations to what we were in. So it's kind of being able to show them that there is more to life than just, I don't know, doing silly things. There is way more to life. So that was the whole kind of ethos for making it.
And then we set up Horizon Studios, which is a community interest company where we support and empower young people through the medium of music. So a lot of the stuff we deliver, quite a lot of the projects that we're delivering at the moment is music production, offering these young people that creative outlet, expression through music production on a laptop, which 9 times out of 10, this stuff isn't accessible for people. A lot of Barrow, especially 7 of the most deprived wards in the country, does experience digital poverty. They're not going to be able to afford £500 for a piece of software to create music. So we go into schools, we give them the training, we break it down into manageable chunks for them, let them express, let them feel good. At the first session, everyone leaves the room smiling, ear to ear. The pride, and letting them create. Because oftentimes in that age group, it's, I'm not expressing, I don't have feelings. Oh, listen, no, I'm.
It's like they feel like they're not allowed to do good things. And even the fact, like, so we work in like music rooms, some of them, and we're like, go on the drum kit and play the drums, and they're like scared to hit the drums. Hit the drums.
Make a racket.
Bang the drums. Just stuff like that. It's just little things, but for them, that's a massive thing.
So we touched on the music production. We also run some DJing workshops. We also do rap and lyric writing workshops. And we've also got a program that is not currently funded, which we kind of do because we see the potential, and we will reach for funding, but this is what we call our Horizon Stars. We've got 5 young people, and we give them studio time. We give them that guidance. We break down social media presence, social media marketing, creating a release strategy, networking on their behalf and showing them how to do it, so they can become sustainable artists themselves.
Yeah. So some of these people have never sang outside the bedroom, and we bring them into a studio, and we put a microphone in front of them and put them in front of this studio equipment and just say, sing. And they sing and they listen back and their minds are blown.
Yeah, someone welled up after the first session.
Yeah.
Like the
And
words.
Yeah, some of these people are more talented than me. And,
yeah, and me.
Yeah. And with that, they could easily have not done anything with it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could talk for hours. Sorry, Tom.
No, it's good. It's good stuff. So I think people have got questions for you. So what I'd like to do is I'd like you to introduce thinking and what happened with Knife Angel. I'll then play that. And then off the back of that, we'll see whether we've got any questions from the floor. There's 1 or 2 comments and questions in chat as well. So tell us about Knife Angel.
So Knife Angel was a piece of music and video and that we put together after going and viewing the Knife Angel that was here in Barrow. It was literally outside our window from here.
So for those people that don't know, just tell us what is it?
It's a anti-violence monument, statue kind of promoting or the fight against knife crime.
Yeah.
So it's made up of 100,000 seized knives, and they've welded it together into the shape of an angel. It's a
sight to see.
Yeah, definitely. So we create this piece of music kind of depicting our swing on things. Yeah. Again, on drill, where it's usually aggressive and angry
Talking
things.
about stabbing people.
Yeah. So we flipped it on its head. We basically, this is our ode to the Knife Angel and the anti-violence movement. It's just very unfortunate that the week after we'd created this, there was an incident that happened in our town. So we were stuck whether or not we release it. So that's what the foreword on the video is about.
Okay, well, let's take a look at it. This is Knife Angel.
Swerve on production.
We all got one life, no one here will be seeing a sequel. Living in 2022, so why are the streets medieval? Just wanna see peace for the people, living with ease, not evil, living it sweet like treacle. So why you gotta be so lethal, huh? Ain't trying to see court dates, just paydays. I really don't care what you say. Back in my day, I'd only get caught with a Beyblade, yo. So for your family and mates say, stop rolling around with a Rambo. Don't make you gangster, make you bad, don't make you macho. And shifting the cue with the white, don't make you Pablo. I don't care if you're swaying a sword, pray to the Lord for no more bodies on the floor. Look, if we analyze it, you'll see the problem that cannibalize is. They wanna get a knife in, it's ludicrous how they glamorize it. No. I ain't joking, not asked if you're mixing packs and potions. Someone's child has just been stabbed, now mum's is crying and the family's broken. How many more we gonna lose too soon? Or subject to the A&E brooms? Families waiting, all trying to ask what's up to the dock like Looney Tunes. I don't care if you're waving it off. Pray to the gods, cause I don't wanna see bodies on the pavements drop. If you roll with a blade then stop. I'm only saying it once. Look, what if it was your mate laying in the box, yo? We all got one life, no one here will be seeing a sequel. Living in 2022, so why are the streets medieval? I just wanna see peace for the people, living with ease, not evil, living it sweet like treacle. So why you gotta be so lethal, huh?
Another great piece of art. Great piece of green art. Congratulations, Josh and Josh, on a lovely piece. Right. So before we get to questions, just quickly, what are your plans from now onwards?
Organisationally, personally, professionally, a holiday would be nice.
Any of the above.
So we are moving into kind of the next term. We're in schools, focusing on these Horizon Stars. We've got a lot of our own music coming very soon. We got our first festival main stage slot announced the other day at a new festival local to Barrow called Coast Roads. Just really trying to tackle and take it up to the next stage, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. All right. Well, questions on the floor. Charlotte, I think you've put a couple of things in chat there. Do you want to just come off mute and just say what you wanted to say?
Yeah, sure. First of all, absolutely fabulous. Really loving what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charlotte.
Really quite powerful stuff. So I'm chair of Frame, which is based in West Cumbria, and our job is to try and bring schools and arts and culture together. And a new award has been launched called the Cumbria Award, and the idea behind it is to try and help young people engage with culture and the arts who don't get access to it, but also to give them a sense of pride in Cumbria, and like being here and celebrate it. And it's just getting off the ground now, but we would absolutely love you guys to get involved if you're interested.
Absolutely.
One of the things we want to do is a showcase, probably like a weekly showcase of something that might be a painting or something local. And I mean, that would just be fabulous. That would just get our young people really
Absolutely.
How do we get in touch with you afterwards?
Should we put our email in the chat?
Yeah, we'll put our email in the chat.
Let's just finish
those up.
We'll finish the conversation now, and then if you can pop it in 5 minutes time, that would be great. And the Cumbria Award is a great thing. We've touched on it here a few months ago, I remember, when it was just kind of getting off the ground, and there's an obvious connection that I think could be made there. If anybody else has got any, thanks, Charlotte. Anybody else got any questions or comments, then just raise your hand and come off mute. Phil's saying there, Phil, who's a great poet himself, the power of words and music with a strong message. Excellent work. And Amanda's just saying, actually, Amanda Drago, I'd love Josh and Josh to do a session on analytics for YouTube and Spotify. So Amanda, you might want to just, do you want to just say a bit more about that, Amanda?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting to understand how young people use Spotify and YouTube to get new audiences wider than in terms of Cumbria. And I mean, our company's got a YouTube account, and we've got my husband's got a Spotify account, and as a composer and musician, but actually just listening to how you talk about that and understanding the interactions, and I think we could learn a lot from that. So I thought that was quite interesting, and maybe in the future it'd be quite good.
Absolutely. Amanda, I will say one thing again, it's all self-taught just over the years, but we're more than happy to. We could
even talk about promotional stuff and like promotional plans and stuff like that.
I love social media. I love it. Yeah.
All right.
I do too. My husband doesn't, so I get to do it all.
Yeah, definitely.
Jill.
Yeah. One of the things I put into the chat, have you done anything with special schools? Because actually you've talked about some of the most deprived wards in Barrow, but there are kids in special school who've got an insight, who've got feelings and expression, which would love this. I'm asking because I've just become the governor of a special school here, and I think they would absolutely adore it.
Yeah, Jill, I completely agree with what you said there. In terms of experience delivering what we do with SEN, we've had one young person, but it is something that we're looking to reach into, so we can. But we've got.
Because I know how important music is for that, because it's just like a universal language, isn't it?
100%.
You don't have to just hear it.
Some of these kids will have multiple physical disabilities as well.
Yeah.
But it's one of the ways where it's not just autistic or conventional special needs, and they're kind of locked in. But what you're expressing brings so much out.
Yeah.
I'll get in touch with you. I'll contact you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Conversation we can have.
Thank you,
perfect.
Jill.
Thank you, Jill.
Thank you, Jill. Can I ask you, Josh and Josh, if we just sort of come to a close now, and then I'd invite you just to put your contacts into chat. You're based in Barrow. I can tell that you're both born in Barrow originally.
I was actually born in Malaysia, Tom.
Oh, that's right. I remember you telling me that crazy story about being born in Malaysia. Malaysia to Barrow. How did that happen? But basically, you're Barrovians, and you're obviously you know, living in that part of the world now, you know, and as you said earlier, in, you know, you're rappers from Barrow, you know, are you going to stick around in Barrow? Do you want to get out of Barrow? You know, do you want to get out of Cumbria? Where are you at on that?
Mixed feelings. There was oftentimes a feel of this geographical disadvantage for us being in a little town at the end of the road at the bottom of Cumbria. However, we've managed to figure a way to flip that to be a geographical advantage. Less somewhat competition in terms of the music of what we do. Puts more eyes on us, which means we can fly the flag for more people.
Exactly. I think that was one of the reasons we set up Horizon, is because we could have left and tried to pursue it in a city like everyone else probably would have done. But the fact that we want to stay and kind of, because there is so much talent here, we know that this could be like a hub of music. We could get some crazy stuff from Barrow. We know it can happen.
Plus, like you said, this is where we've grown up. Barrow's not just our town, it's not just our people, but we want to help. We want to help.
You can always just get on a flight if you need to.
Yeah, trains, flights.
Get away for a couple of months.
Cruise would be nice, wouldn't it?
But it'd be nice to be based here. Yeah.
Okay, and what would your message be to people watching this and who may watch it again, who are people living and working and practicing in the Cumbrian arts and culture sector? What do you want people to do, or what's your message to them?
What's yours?
I think just follow your passion and believe in yourself. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah. Similarly, I would just say, stop thinking about it and start doing it.
Yeah, that's a good one as well.
All right. Well, thank you very much. As Amanda's just put into chat there, you have found a different voice to other artists in cities, which is unique. Stick with it. And as Tim has said, that also everyone needs a strong sense of place, and it really feels, watching those two films in particular, that you've definitely found that. So thank you so much for your time this morning. I'm sure we'll stay in contact with you, as will other people. Do put your contacts in chat there, and I'd just encourage everybody else to look at, you know, so Swerve and JD is what often the brand is that you'll find them under. But they're two just decent young chaps in Barrow called Josh and Josh, who are doing amazing things for their community, as well as hopefully forging a career for themselves in this difficult world in which we're in. So congratulations to you two. I hope it really continues to go in the way you want it to. And thank you for sharing your beautiful art with us this morning.
Thank you, Tom, and thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
All right, do stick around. Do stick around till 10:30 if you can as well. Right. So from Barrow to Cockermouth, Kate, I think you are going to do something with Cockermouth Live.
Well, I'm not. I'm going to hand over to people who know what they're talking about. You'll be pleased to know. I'm going to introduce you to Bob Pritchard and Chris Bridgman, who both are heavily involved and always have been in running Cockermouth Live, which is a brilliant festival here in Cockermouth where I live. So Bob, are you ready? Is it you first? Do come off mute, Bob. That would help.
Right, I could try coming off mute. That would
be good. Yeah, take it away, Bob. Tell us.
Okay, thanks very much. Cockermouth Live is a weekend festival, first weekend of July, which focuses very much on local performance, though local means the whole of Cumbria and even further around the edges. And if we go back to its origins, I set up a meeting on the 19th of November 2009 to look into the possibility of having such a festival. 19th of November 2009, some of you may recall, was the day of the biblical flood in Cockermouth. So that meeting never actually happened, but when we actually got round to doing something about a new festival, we took it from we took it from there, and when it finally happened in 2010, it was very much part of the town's recovery from that devastating experience. Next slide, please. So we had a festival that involved all sorts of things. and went on for quite a long time. Here we have a picture of the Solstice Picnic, which was very popular and very well supported and had musical events around the edges. We also have a picture of the Gamelan Orchestra in the Friends Meeting House garden. And because there was a lot of money around post being flooded, we actually brought the London Community Gospel Choir up for that first initial event. So that was quite big and ambitious, probably over ambitious. And over the years since, we've consolidated and concentrated everything now into the first weekend in July. So I think Chris takes over at this point. If he's
I'll pass on from you. Is everybody hearing me all right?
Carry on talking.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So as Bob says, it is at its heart a community festival with lots of local and regional performers, but with a couple of kind of bigger names from the wider world thrown in as cherries on the cake. So the established shape of the weekend now is generally on the Friday of the weekend, there's an entertaining tour of some description at the Kirkgate Centre, featuring people ranging from the Antarctic explorer Felicity Aston to legendary broadcaster Andy Kershaw to local celebrity writer James Rebanks. And last year, as we started to emerge from lockdown, we had Ian Mullen come off the radio with music by Luke Ross. If we go to the next slide, please, Bob, Tom. So the heart of the festival is the Saturday, with performances cropping up all across the town during the day at the Kirkgate Centre, the Arts and Community Centre there, in the grounds of the castle, at Wordsworth House, which is top right of the picture, but also in shops and pubs and that's Bob. Shops and pubs and cafes all across the town. There's a full spectrum of music, and there's also theatre and poetry and dance and family entertainment, art displays. We kind of collaborate with Maggie Toner Edgar's Evan West outfit. Saturday's topped off with a headline act at the Kirkgate. These have included Dr. Feelgood, Kiki D. Last year, again, as we came out of lockdown, it was Catherine Tickell's trio, the celebrated Northumbrian pipist. And then on the Sunday, there is a concert in Christchurch by the Papcastle Community Orchestra, some of who, well, at least one member is on this call. There's usually some original composition thrown into that, as well as kind of a bunch of music around a particular theme. So if we could go to the next slide, Tom. This year, the headliners we already have lined up on the Friday, the 1st of July. We've got Alfie Moore with a live version of his hit radio show, It's a Fair Cop. Alfie Moore is a stand-up comic and serving police officer, and the format of his show is that he takes the audience through an actual real-life policing situation and invites them to make judgments about what should be done at various points. And it's been described by The Guardian as fascinating and funny and weirdly life-affirming, which sounds like something we all need. And then on the Saturday this year, Saturday the 2nd, we've got Gig Spanner Big Band, a sort of folk rock supergroup led by Peter Knight of Steel Ice Band fame, and including, it's just a bunch of incredible musicians, including Philip Henry and Hannah Martin, who did an amazing gig at the Kirkgate a little while ago. But I'll hand back to Bob to talk more about the wider community aspects.
Cockermouth Live is fundamentally a community festival with a huge range of Cumbria-based performers. I have to say that they do it for love. It's a real shoestring festival, this, and we can't actually afford to pay. It's a non-commercial event in almost every way, but it has really good support and a really good vibe in town. The format is a multi-venue festival, and you get a schedule on the day. You make your own itinerary around the town: jazz, rock, folk, roots, choirs of all sorts, brass bands, classical trios, singer-songwriters, drama, and art as well, usually. As I say, it's non-commercial. We don't bring any food vans in. We want people to actually support the local businesses and hospitality in town. And the aim, we're just trying to animate the town, really. In 2019, which was the last full-strength festival before the pandemic, we had altogether 500 local performers in 18 venues. We then actually managed to do a virtual festival in 2020, where we asked people to send stuff in, and we ended up with 4 hours worth of YouTube. And then we had a slightly smaller festival last year, but we hope to be back as much to full strength as we can. Though some of those 18 venues, of course, are no longer with us because they've closed after the pandemic. I think that's oh yeah, there's a slide of local performers, which I think I've there we go. That's things happening all around the town, different places, and we're really grateful. You can't get into Cockermouth Castle other than on this day. So Lord and Lady Egremont graciously allow us to take over the castle courtyard, and it's a fabulous venue for music. Right, back to Chris, I think.
Yeah, so as Bob said, the 2022 Cockermouth Live Festival is already in pretty good shape. We've got the headliners lined up, lots of the regular performers are recruited, so new developments. But programming isn't finalised by any means. We're going to be holding a launch event on Sunday, the 27th of March at the Kergate. And we're inviting anybody who's been involved in the festival, whether it's a performer or a venue organizer, as a steward, in whatever capacity, to come along. Anybody who's got an interest, but everybody is welcome. And this part of the point of us doing this on this call today is to welcome anybody who might be interested. So it's anybody who's interested in getting involved in whatever capacity. Can we go to the next slide for a nice view of the castle? And it's always sunny.
Not.
So yes, anybody who's interested as performers, I think it would be great to have more drill in the mix, which isn't traditionally a strong feature. Poets have done very well, but I don't think we've got anything confirmed at the moment for this year. So Bill, I'm looking at you. But yeah, anybody who would like to set up a poetry event, and really anybody who's got any ideas that we may not have had already, proposing a format for something different, and we do our best to find a place to put it. The other point is that, as Bob said, it's an absolutely shoestring festival. It is run entirely on a voluntary basis. Bob and I and a small handful of others do all of the campus voluntarily.
I'm just going to interrupt, and I'm going to suggest that Bob finishes off because Chris is slightly difficult to hear.
Sorry.
Bob, would you like to take over?
Yeah, I'll take over, yes. That's fine. I thought we were having a live double act. Anyway, yeah. 27th of March, Sunday the 27th of March, 3 o'clock in the afternoon at the Kergate Centre. We'd like people to come along and meet us and chuck in their ideas. And Also, we are a small group, but we are also a small group that is getting smaller through ill health and people wanting to go off and do other things. So we are looking for people who might be able to help us out in the whole running on organisation of the festival, because I think its future is probably in doubt if we don't get some more interest. But also its shape is really at this point, therefore, is completely open. We've done the same sort of thing for 13 years, and it's probably time we had an injection of new ideas, and we really genuinely would welcome that. We're not holding on to this festival and what it does, except that we have got a town here which is supportive and which has lots of lots of people who like performing and who like listening, and the atmosphere in the town on the day is always wonderful, even if it's pouring with rain, which it never does. So I'll put the contact details in the chat, and please do get in touch if you're not able to come on the 27th and you want to know more, or you've got ideas what we could do. Maybe have a rapper session, which would be great. And let's see where we go from there.
Bob and Chris, good luck with that. I know it's a well-established event that is full of energy and colour and just fun. So good luck with it, and I hope you get some support from other parts of the community as well. Thank you for all that you do to make it happen, and for this year. And fingers crossed it will keep progressing in the right direction. So thank you very much, Bob and Chris, as well. Thank you. Right, it's 24 minutes past 10. We're just going to hear from Caroline now, who has got a book event coming up. And Caroline, I'm going to give you 60 seconds to talk it up.
Right, I've just put it in chat. I'm talking in Kendal Library on the 24th of March. But my novel Brock Inspector and the sense of place in my work, which is largely set in Cumbria. There's a crucial scene on Loughrig, which is a massive row. So I would like to see you there. It would be great to see you there, rather than I would like to see you there. It would be great to see you there.
Great, thank you very much, Caroline. So it's 24th of March, which is in a few days time, and that's at Kendal Library. So good luck with that.
3 p.m.
3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. Great.
Yeah, great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Support your local libraries at all times. And of course, Cockermouth Live, as Bob's put in, is the 1st to 3rd of July later in this year. Right, we're coming towards the end now, but I just wanted to give Kate a little bit of time now, because the network is offering some opportunities for people about training. So Kate, take it away.
Okay, thank you. Okay, yeah, so a few weeks ago we mentioned that we have our next training opportunity coming up, and it's a really open opportunity for everyone here and anyone in the network. We're offering disability equality training, really, really important, really high quality. It's something that I recently delivered for staff across museums in the Cumbria Museum Consortium, which is what I run in my day job. We ran it for 90 people who had a really brilliant, positive, high quality experience, and I highly recommend this to you. It's an excellent, engaging 2.5 hours, which challenges stereotypes and aims to make what we all do, whether you're a creative practitioner or involved in running an organisation or a venue, genuinely and truly accessible. It's free. So please do make the best of that. Thanks to the funding that we have from Cumbria County Council and Sellafield Social Impact Programme. Like I said, it's open to anyone working in the sector. If you run an organisation here and you don't want to go or can't go, invite your colleagues. Please let's make the best of this. We have 64 places, and I really want them all to be full. All the details are on the CACN website, which Amy is about to stick in the chat. So the booking is now open. The dates are Monday the 25th, Tuesday the 26th, Wednesday the 27th, and Thursday the 28th of April. We've set it at different times of day to try and cater for everybody. I think there's 2 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and 1 in the early evening. So book now, please do take the opportunity. I really can't recommend it highly enough as a way of changing the way that we think about disability. We've spoken about it earlier in the session, and I would encourage you to attend and to encourage your colleagues to attend as well. Like I said, it is for practitioners, artists, as well as people running and working in organisations. So let's get the spaces filled up now. Thank you to Amy for setting it all up. The booking is open now on that link. So yeah, and before I go and just hand over to Tom, I just want to say thank you to Josh and Josh this morning. I'm really excited and moved by what you've said to us this morning, and I just you know, all hail to both of you, because your strength and humility and authenticity and charm is just second to none. And I just think it's amazing that you have turned what has not been an easy existence in many ways so far into such a positive thing. And I, you know, do not leave Cumbria. I won't have it. I think there is so much that you can offer all of us here, and I wouldn't be surprised if you aren't swamped after this with requests. And I have an idea of how you can help the network and how we can perhaps commission you to do good stuff. So let's all be in touch, and do come again, Josh and Josh. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Not at all. I'm sure everybody here agrees, I hope, with what I've just said. So really, all credit to you. Massive, massive respect. Thanks, Tom.
All right, thank you, Kate. Next week, we have Lana Grindley, who is an artist based in Kendal, who's been involved in the work that the Environment Agency have been doing there with the flood defences. She's been really incorporated into that project, and she's going to be telling us about all the things that she's been doing. And Tom Salmon, who will be a friend of Josh and Josh. Tom is a broadcaster on BBC Introducing in Cumbria, and he made a fleeting appearance when we had Andy Smith on from Kendal Calling a few weeks ago. But Tom's going to talk to us a bit about the youth music scene across Cumbria in all its different guises, how he goes about selecting what goes on the radio, and future ambitions as well. He also does a few bits and bobs on Radio 1 as well. So it'd be great to have Tom with us next week as well. So Lana Grindley from Kendal and Tom Salmon as well. Thanks to everybody for this morning. Lovely to see you all. Enjoy the sunshine that is bursting out across the county and in London and in Coventry. Thanks to Josh and Josh, to Bob and to Chris and to Caroline, and hope to see you all again somewhere very soon. Bye all.